Wolfpack, how you doing, Wolfpack? Happy Friday, Wolfpack. It is time for our 8th movie night. Greetings, it is I, Category Jinro, your resident werewolf VTuber, and welcome back to the Moonlight Brew, where we serve coffee as well as adult beverages. But, as you can see, Wolfies, we are not in the Moonlight Brew tonight. We are actually at the movie theater for our 8th movie night. Tonight, we are going to be watching the cult classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre II. And I know what you're all thinking, but we didn't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, together. Well, it would have been very hard for us to find the first one for everybody to watch on a service that they probably had a subscription to. On top of that, we did watch Child's Play 2019 2 weeks back, which this movie was featured in. So I figured it's a nice little segue. Plus, for whatever odd reason, some people actually really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 over Part 1. Some people prefer the campiness, the dark comedy, as some would even consider this film, compared to the first one that's a bit more serious. Note, famous actors that you will see in this film. Dennis Hopper plays one of the cops trying to, not really a cop, he's more like a bounty hunter slash sheriff dude trying to track down Leatherface and his family. Caroline Williams, who some people might remember her as the redhead from Leprechaun 3. She also is in, ironically, Hatchet Free as well as a reporter in that particular movie. She starred and also has co-starred in various different horror films throughout the years. Very big actress in terms of the horror community. Then, also, this movie gave birth to kind of a cult classic icon, that being Top Chop, played by Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley, very famous, obviously, in the horror franchise. This is where he got basically his big break and was very well known for his performance of Top Chop. So it's a very interesting film. Now, with all our movie watch-alongs, keep in mind that I am not allowed to stream the movie. I can only stream my reaction, so you will have to have it queued up on your end. If you're a member of my Discord, I already provided you with where you could find this movie. But in case you need a reminder, if you have HBO Max, it is available on HBO Max, aka Max, because they rebranded recently with a subscription service. So you could definitely check it out there. I'm going to give everybody the count of 10 to get ready, even though I think most of you would have probably already gotten ready before you clicked in to watch tonight. But, okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play, Wolfies. Alright. Takes a little bit for buffering on my end. Okay, we got Metro Goldwyn Mayer trademark. So we got the good old lion roaring right now, Wolfies. Okay. Now this movie is kind of been owned by a lot of different movie studios. So Canon Pictures is the one that had it originally. Ironically, Canon Pictures, if I remember correctly, got bought out years and years and years ago by AOL, which then got absorbed by Warner Brothers, so HBO. Okay, interesting. So this is giving you a little bit of foreshadowing, or perhaps a little backstory as to what happened in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So in case you never saw the first one, this basically sums up exactly the whole story that happened in the first film. The first one's really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely. The second one, very campy, but good in its own right, because it's kind of a little bit of a dark comedy. Yeah, Sally went crazy. Well, in this particular film. Then when you watch the Netflix version that came out, the recent one, they recon it, and Sally is actually a bounty hunter slash cop now, which I think is kind of cool. So, look at that. The murders are still happening, and they haven't been able to find the killer. Not very good cops in Texas, apparently, right, Wolfies? How else would you not have been able to catch them? Like, after everything. Okay, the Cannon Group Inc. percent. I like the fact that they give you information to the first film, like the whole plot synopsis as to what happened. So you go into this one, even if you hadn't seen, you're like, oh, that's what happened. Tobe Hooper, original director of the first one as well as the second one, which was pretty surprising how big of a different direction he goes with this one. Rest in peace, by the way, Tobe Hooper. He is no longer with us, unfortunately. Starring Dennis Hopper, Caroline Williams. Think we'll get Bill Moseley? No. Also starring Jim Sato, Bill Moseley, Bill Johnson. I think Jim Sato is the one that plays Leatherface in this film. Tom Savini, special makeup effects. Tom Savini is very famous in the horror community for all his special effects throughout the year on Friday the 13th franchise, as well as some music by Tobe Hooper and Jerry Lambert. I actually don't know who Jerry Lambert is, to be honest with you. Unit production, you can kind of read that for yourself. None of those people went on to have very big movie industry careers. Production designer, Carrie White. Carrie White had an okay career, from what I remember. Director of photography, Richard Corus. And that one doesn't really ring a bell to me. Edited by Elaine Jukabarowicz. Ironically, editors never get love. Like, you don't ever see too many people getting recognized in the film community as, like, for some of the amazing jobs that editors have done over the years. It's very, very unfortunate. Executive producers, Harry Holmes and James Jorgensen. They were the people who ran Canon a lot. They're pretty famous for a lot of the movies they did. They're also, ironically, the people that ruined the Robotech, the Untold Story movie, ironically. Produced by Golan. Golan was pretty big also as well. Directed by Tobe Hooper. He directed the first one as well. Alright. Look at this. Looks like we're in the backwards of Texas. This movie is like from the late 80s, if I remember correctly. So it's gonna look very 80s in terms of the costumes that you see of the cars. Look at those glasses. Those glasses were apparently all the rage back in the day. So these people are just randomly causing chaos on the roads of Texas. How do you get a gun? Well, I guess in Texas it's a gun-carrying state, right, Wolfies? So pretty easy to get one. He's apparently obeying his Second Amendment right. Oh, look at this. So we got the nerd that's drinking and has a gun, and then you got the preppy jock type guy. Oh, look, it's Caroline Williams. She's a DJ. Back in the day, Caroline Williams, a lot of people, ironically, in horror community had a big crush on her. Ironically, it kind of stems from this film, because this is like her first really big role, like starring role in a horror film. She was unknown before this. And she still does a lot of convention appearances, a lot of horror movies still. Oh, look at that. Oh, they're going to call her. Look at that cell phone. That was what a cell phone looked like back in the mid-80s. Like an actual cell phone that was connected to the car, too. That's kind of funny, right? Oh, look at that. The person in the back. Oh, look at this guy's glasses. They're so retro. I wonder if he could still get a pair of glasses like that. I should have a pair of those for my model just to run it every once in a while. That'd be kind of funny. Look at that. That was actually a style in the 80s. I kid you not. Look at this dude. And the guy's wearing like a preppy cardigan type of sweater. It's funny. Such a contrast between these two. Like, why would the jock preppy guy be hanging out with the complete loser nerd? But that was a big trope in the 80s. It was like every cool preppy kid needed like a nerd sidekick to kind of make them feel like superior or something. Oh god, these guys are trying to play chicken? That might not be the wisest idea here. And they're holding up the line. They won't hang up. Why can't she disconnect the call? I think back then you could still have it disconnected just by hanging up, right? I don't remember how landlines worked. It's been a while since anybody's had one, right? Did the other party have to hang up the phone too? I think so, right? For the call to disconnect? Oh boy. Yeah, she can't do anything to disconnect them. Wow. Just imagine you could actually hold a radio station hostage like that because they wouldn't hang up. That just seems like a very stupid thing. How could you not disconnect the call? Uh-oh. She's feisty. I mean, hey, you really shouldn't call somebody darling unless you have their permission, I suppose, right, Wolfies? Look at this nerd. What is he doing? Texas Battleland Park, I think it's at, or Wasteland Park? 7 miles away. These two are up to no good. Do you think they're going to survive the film? Usually in horror films, when somebody's acting a fool, especially in the beginning of the film, they're going to meet with a untimely death, perhaps. What's the name of the radio station? Rocola, it looked like. Look at the music. The music they're listening to is not even really 80s music. It's closer to late 70s, I would say. Oh, wow, they worked the radio station the whole night, so they started in the morning? I don't think jockeys really do that anymore. You know, radio is like the thing of the past in this day and age. I mean, they still have the radio stations, but most people, who really listens to FM radio? Most people either on like Spotify or... Oh, she's pissed. I don't blame her. Oh, they hung up on him. Uh-oh. Oh, man. They are super drunk. How much do you think they have been drinking? They've been driving all day? They can't hang up on him? How? How can they not, like, cut off the line here? Uh-oh. What's going to happen? That's a very inept radio station, my personal opinion. Uh-oh. Look at that. What is that? Oh! Isn't that the car that they were playing chicken with earlier? It looks like it. It looks very similar to it, right? Well, you wanted to play chicken, didn't you? Oh, wow, the Preppy Boy's trying to be very, very, stern. Just trying to act tough. This is not going to go well. Yo, wow, look. They were really tough guys earlier when they're playing chicken, but now they're scared. Scared straight? Uh-huh. It's not going to go well. Oh, look at that. What is that? It's like a guy dressed up as something? Look at that. It's like a dead body he's moving around in? Look at that. It's like a meat puppet of some sort. Look at that. They've definitely got the scare factor going. They're scaring the crap out of him. Oh, look at that. He's got this chainsaw. You know who that must be. Good old Leatherface. Look at that. Well, they're definitely scared. So Leatherface made like a full-on body costume now, compared to in the first movie where he just had the mask made of food. Or not food, but human meat, I should say. So, that's definitely something, Wolfies. Uh-oh. He's going to chop the car in half, it looks like. Yeah, that's not going to be good. I mean, these guys kind of deserve it, though, when you think about it. They were acting all tough and machismo on the open road, thinking they were, like, really hot stuff. And then they just got knocked down their pedestal. Oh, wow. The whole thing's being recorded on the radio station. Uh-oh. He's going to try to shoot him? And Leatherface is like, yeah, just took the bullet. Wow. We got our first glimpse of Leatherface there. Crazy that he actually had, like, a meat shield costume type of thing there. That's a really cool special effect. I mean, some people consider that kind of hokey, but it was very interesting because Leatherface was always obsessed with trying to hide his identity, and then it goes taking a step further. As you can tell, the mask in this film, Leatherface design, much different from the first film. Much different from the first one. Look at that nerd that was with the gun. He did... Oh! That dude got it. 07 to the preppy kid. He ain't gonna be around for much longer. That is definitely not flesh wound, Wolfies. Ooh. Yeah, the one thing also, this movie, if you're not, for the faint of heart, you're a little squeamish with gory effects, this is gonna be very, very gory film. Like, incredibly over the top with the gore. Well, they didn't even know what to think here at the radio station. No, he didn't cut it off. The claw got severed. They don't even know really what to think. Like, if you listen to that whole thing, you'd be pretty freaked out too, right? You just listen to basically a murder. Looks like it's the next day in the accident site. Wow. Leatherface did a number on that car. Are the people actually there still in the car? Because I know in the previous Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, they used to take the meat to harvest it because they were a bunch of cannibals. That's Dennis Hopper. This is one of his very early roles too, ironically. I'm surprised he even agreed to be in this film, because Dennis Hopper really didn't do... I think this is like one of his only horror films. He found some evidence. But they didn't find any bodies, huh? Yeah, no. I wonder what he's gonna... Uh-oh. The cops are rolling in? So did he get to the scene before the rest of the cops? Looks like it. He was on the scene way before anybody else. Got out of there. Is he not a cop? Cowboy? He's just a cowboy? Restricted. Who's this? Is that the mayor? Or the chief of police? Oh, he's a lieutenant. Is he like a state trooper or something? Yeah. Oh, wow. So, Texas Chainsaw 2 just confirmed it 14 years after the events of the first film. They're trying to say that this is just an accident happening. Doesn't look like it the way the car's cut out. Oh, so they didn't take the bodies. That's surprising. Yeah, he couldn't fool him. Dennis Hopper in this film's acting is, what's the nicest way to put it? It's a little bit of a hit and a miss. At times it's very strong, and at times it's very weak. We just saw one of the scenes where it's a little bit more weak. We don't really know who the guy in the suit is, really. Is he the governor? Is he the mayor? Is he chief of police? I don't think he's chief of police when he's in a suit. Gotta be more like a mayor. Huh. So he's just gonna ignore him. I don't blame him. He's kind of talking hot here, just trying to tell him, don't pull the lid off it. DA. So, what is he gonna do? Put him on the plane? He's gonna show him? I mean, without a paper that says he could put him back on a plane, then he has no jurisdiction against him. Ah, see, he has to play ball, because he doesn't have the authority to put him back on a plane. Put in the price. What does he want? What is he trying to get? Information? Witnesses? Is he going to have to cooperate? Wow. Does he got this much pull as like a lieutenant that he could make them do stuff in this town, in this county? So he's the boss, apparently. Wow, he really showed him. Huh. He really upstaged him, showed him his authority. What is going on here? Well, what is she trying to... Who's she trying to knock on the door for? Well, I mean... Those people are clearly drunk. Oh. She read the newspaper story. Huh. Oh, she has the tape recording from when the kids got killed. Huh, look at that. Fun fact, the hotel number that's used in this film is a very common hotel number that's used in a lot of movies. I don't know why that's the case, but it's been used in quite a bit of films. Look at that. Back in the day, instead of digital recordings, they had recordings on cassette tapes. Have half of you Wolfies ever seen a cassette tape in your life? You had to actually put those into cassette players or Walkmans. Things that are now considered ancient relics of the past. Look at the TV in the background. That's an old CRT TV. The type that you'd play like an NES system on or an Atari. What's he drinking? Look at that. It's called Dos Babos as the drink, I believe. Or Dos Sanchiro, something like that. I guess that's supposed to be a pun of Dos Equis. She's trying to help. Okay. So she's trying to say that she's a big DJ. She wants to work with him. Why is she going to get in his way? Well, she is technically in the middle of this. She ain't wrong. Oh, she wants to become like a real, like, radio journalist. She has higher aspirations. That's good. Always got to set the bar higher. He doesn't want to mix her up in this because I have a feeling he thinks that she's going to get killed. Huh. Look at her outfit. Like, she's completely matching in the colors. Matching blue shirt, matching denim jeans. Look at her boots. Her boots are even blue in color. There's a little brown there, too. The stylist actually had a pretty good idea there of what they were going to do. So Dennis Hopper refuses to work with her. His character is named Stretch in this film, if I remember correctly. He's so drunk he doesn't even know. Oh, what's going on here? What is it? He's building like a leaning tower of french fries? Apparently. This guy is a little, odd to say the very least. Oh, well, at least she was smart and went to the hotel with her colleague. So she didn't go there alone, which was kind of smart, because look at this, whatever hotel it is, it's not, very safe for a woman to be there alone, it seems. It's a very, very rough area, looks like. He's drunk, too. What is these beer brands that they're drinking? Apparently they couldn't afford to actually pay for any licensing of real beers. Where did she get the red thing from? Oh, look at this. Texas, Oklahoma Chef Cook-Off. Grand Champion. Who's the Grand Champion? Oh, why are they just pouring chili into that? Well, I guess this was a cook-off competition here? Texas, Oklahoma chili cook-off. Well, that's a big sign to tell us what it is. Look at the film cameras they're using to record the TV broadcasts from. That's interesting. This is way, way, way back in the day, those type of cameras. They don't use those anymore. Mostly they use like black magic cameras. And some other ones called Sony X. I forgot the exact model number, but they're called Sony X cameras for television broadcasts. A lot of the lower cable networks will use them. Oh, so Tom Sawyer is his name. He won the chili cook-off. You might know this guy because he does make more appearances in Texas Chainsaw. He is in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and ironically, I won't give it away yet, but kind of reprises his role in a way. Look at that. It's the meat. What's the type of meat? Look at that. Ooh. Oh, did you see what she's ate there? What is that? That didn't look like a peppercorn. It looked kind of like a bone. He loves this town. He definitely doesn't seem very trustworthy either. He gives off that creepy vibe, right, Wolfies? Well, I guess Texas won the chili cook-off. Which chili do you think's better, Wolfies? Texas or Oklahoma? I've actually never been to either places. I've had what is considered Texas chili in terms of dishes, but I can't say I've ever had Oklahoma chili. It doesn't really seem like something I've had. So, Dennis Hopper, what is he doing? He's doing a stakeout? Oh, he's listening into the radio broadcast. Oh, Stretch was the name of Caroline Williams. My apologies. I thought it was his name. I forget what his name is down in this film. I guess we'll figure it out in a little bit. Look at that. He's smoking. He's stressed out. That's a very good little nuance there. Because he's smoking a cigarette. You could tell he's stressed out about what's about to go down. Who's this? What's he looking for? Just like a hardware store, it looks like? Maybe? What's he looking for? He's very intent on finding something, Wolfies. But what? Oh, look at all those chainsaws. Is he going to fight fire with fire, apparently? It seems like that's going to be the case. What's he going to do? Look at all those $100 bills. Are they hundreds? Yeah. Old school hundreds and 50s. That's the way money used to look. Nowadays, people don't even pay with money. They pay with, like, debit card or credit. That's how old this movie is. Well, clearly he wants a chainsaw, right? What is he looking for? A particular model, maybe? I guess he found the one he already wants. Why is he in such a trance with the chainsaw? He's looking for more chainsaws? One's not enough? He's trying to see if it's light enough to use. He wants that one too? Yeah, if I'm the guy owning the shop and I see a guy just like throwing around the chainsaws trying to see which one's better, which one's more dynamic, he's doing those hand motions, I'm probably going to be like, sir, you're going to have to ask you to leave. Because clearly he's not using this for wood cutting. This is not going to go too well with this. What's he doing? I guess he found the two he wanted? He didn't even ask him how much it was. He's just like, here's money. The guy saying, don't you want to test them out? That's interesting. So it's just going to test them out. So it's like an actual Texas chainsaw shop. Do they actually even have those in Texas, or they just did this for dramatic license? I'm thinking the latter. I'm surprised that in this scene that they allowed for natural lighting and didn't try to add some extra lighting and make it look a little bit more... Why is this guy getting jollies off of watching him chop wood? Well, he's very good at using a chainsaw, apparently, even though... I don't know if I'd necessarily consider that good. Just trying to imitate Leatherface. And look at him, he's getting, like, so happy at what he's doing, too. It's a very odd scene, to say the very least. Because why would the guy just be so happy about that? At that point, you wonder whether or not he's working with Leatherface, right? It would draw some questions there. Oh, he was waiting on the radio station for her to come back. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. Yeah, I guess so. There's a gun shop at the radio station, so why can't they just, like... Why can't you just buy some guns there? He wants her to play a tape now? Why? Huh. Why should she help him now? Yeah, now he wants to hear it. Why would you play it on the radio? She could get into some real trouble for that. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be legal to do that. Yeah, FCC wouldn't be happy about hearing the murder on radio. Wow. Bend the rules. He wants her to get fired, basically, just to deal with these two. The killers are here. Where? So he's been tracking him for the last 2 years. She's surprised. I cut her off guard. So there's been a Texas government cover-up regarding the murders that have been going on. Interesting. Why would there be a cover-up? Why would Texas try to cover up the fact of these murders? I guess they don't want the public to be in fear, or the fact that they were very incompetent in trying to catch the killers. Is she going to help them, you think, Wolfies? Or do you think she's just going to be like, no, that's okay, I don't want to risk getting fired? She's very adamant about trying to become a radio journalist, right? Lefty, that was the name of Dennis Hopper's character, that's right. Stretch and Lefty. Very weird names they gave him in this film. I guess because they're supposed to be nicknames. Do you kind of notice something between these two? They kind of got a little bit of, I don't know, romantic tension between the two. I guess Stretch likes her fellows a little bit more mature, perhaps. There's definitely some interesting vibes going between these two. He looks very peculiar, though, after that. Like, if he just did something he's going to regret, perhaps. Drayden Sawyer. That's right. Not Tom Sawyer. Wow, he's, I guess he wins that every year, it looks like. He's celebrating his victory. How's she going to play that tape, though, without getting in trouble? Special request. Afternoon. Every hour she's gonna play this tape? Why? Oh, she's gonna get into a heap of trouble. Uh-oh. Look at them. He has a cell phone too in his car. Everybody got a cell phone in the car in this movie. Boys. Uh-oh, don't call on the phone. What happened? Who contacted him? What's going to happen here, Wolfies? What do you think? Huh? What station? Do you think Leatherface called him? Do you think he's one of the members of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, perhaps? Uh-oh. Yep, he's working with them. Oh, man. So you know what that means then, Wolfies? That chili, the prime meat that he's talking about, that wasn't cow meat. That was, yep, good old human meat, apparently. Ooh, gross. Well, that's not good. She's literally playing the whole murder tape on the radio station. Where's Lefty? Wow, she played that tape every hour on the hour till the radio station closed? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Radio stations don't usually close. They're usually 24 hours and they just rotate the DJs in and out. Yeah, that don't make quite sense. Uh-oh. Yeah. What is he supposed to be, the station manager? Because he doesn't do a very good job if that's the case. He's not happy. This cowboy hat is so interesting. Like, I can't be honest, I've never seen somebody wear a cowboy hat of that nature. Even for that time period. It was an interesting design choice. Why does he keep calling her darling if she didn't want to be called that? Is he going to get fired? A request? Yeah, but you don't play it every hour and an hour. How's she going to get away with this? She's not the station manager, clearly. But neither is he. So, what is he doing? Uh-oh. He got that look like he's going to try something. Coffee? Well, I mean, he shoot his shot and failed. He's jealous. Yeah. Apparently, she likes Lefty. Poor guy. And he's going to get in trouble too, probably. Because he let his colleague get away with that. You know, his butt is on the line too for this particular job. He's very upset. So, does she live in this radio station or something? Because she's still there. You figured she'd clock out by now. Uh-oh, what's that? Phone call. Nobody on our line. That's never a good thing in horror movies, Wolfies. Usually means somebody is being stalked by the killer, perhaps. That's definitely not Lefty. They hung up right away, too. What could possibly be going on, Wolfies? Well, the plot thickens, as they would say. Studio A. The music in this, that's more of an 80s song. That was definitely an 80s song. Even though I think a lot of the music that's in this feature in this film is actually original music for Texas Chainsaw 2, if I'm not mistaken. Could probably check in the end credits. That's definitely not LJ or LG. Wonder what LG's initial stood for. Well, it's not going to be Lefty. How's he going to get up that way? Studio A? Look at that. They even have vinyls that they play. Because back in that day, you had to play vinyls and cassette tapes for your radio stations. They're a very run-down radio station when you really think about it, though. It's not very, fancy. That's like a back area? Oof. Why does it have like a door that would look like a meat cellar, though? That's a bit odd. Look at the walls. The walls are really run down. Everything, like the wood is rotting. Look at that. Like, that looks like there's lead on the walls, even. Like, this is a very, very rundown radio station. How much do you think they pay DJs in this radio station if they can't keep the building up to standard? Now, look at that ominous red light. That's a nice lighting effect. That's usually done with a gel, and then you put the light from underneath it, and it gives off that nice little red effect through glass. Gels are like these plastic things you put over film lights, for those who wonder. That's how you create that effect, to make it look orangey. Right? So you give the sense of incandescent light. Well, look at that. This is good old Chop Top. This is the first appearance of him. They talk about him in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 with the Hitchhiker character. That's his twin brother. If you don't know what happened, the Hitchhiker character in the first film, he got killed. He was apparently stationed in the war. It's implied Vietnam of some sort. Look at this guy. This guy's like dressed kind of like Sonny Bono in a way. Look at that. What's he doing? Bubba. So, interesting story. Most people always wonder why Leatherface is referred to by the communities, horror fans, some people in Dead by Daylight as Bubba. This is the film where he was referenced by Chopped Up as Bubba, and from there on out, people always just call him Bubba. Uh-oh. What is he doing? He's using a wire hanger to light it up and scratch his head? What is he doing? Did he peel off his own skin from that wire hanger? What's he doing? He's eating his own flesh? That's just that's, oh, gross. I mean, I've heard of people eating their scabs and stuff. I always was disgusted by that, but this is taken it to a whole other level. So you gotta be careful with this guy. This guy is very, very unscrupulous. He's literally lighting up a wire hanger to scratch pieces of his flesh off his scalp. That's something. She's gonna try to get rid of him, I hope. Rubber man, that's weird. Why would you have all that crap on your desk? Oh, those were popular toys back in the day, too. Quite a novelty item by today. He's completely terrified at this point. She's kind of figured out that he's related to the killer, clearly. Alright. Well, he should probably get going, right? He's not going to leave, right? Not willingly at this point. What does this button say? I can't really make it out from this angle. What's going to happen, Wolfies? X. IT. Yes. Yeah. Well, at least we know he can read. He's got a lot of buttons on him. I wish we could get a close-up on them and see which ones they are. I think somebody that actually worked in the crew is on one of those buttons, if I remember correctly. Ooh, scratching his top. Well, that's why I call him Chop Top, right? Yeah, she's trying to get rid of him. I don't think he's leaving, lady. Like, if he was going to leave, he would have left already. Look at that. What request? Which one? He knows. Uh-oh. He came to silence her. So he definitely is working with the killers. He's one of Leatherface's family members. You know, it's a shame that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, they don't have Chop Top, and chances are they're never going to be able to include him in the game, just because of licensing issues between Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of different companies own different rights to each of the films individually. So I think with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, because this is on Max, it's owned by Warner Brothers, so if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, wanted to have Chop Top in the game, they'd have to negotiate rights with Warner Brothers, which I would assume is very expensive. I don't have, personally, Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game, because I'm not really a fan of some of the practices of the game, as well as some of the behavior of the developers over the course of many, many months so far since the game came out. Just not very good behavior for developers to exhibit, which is why I passed on the game. Whoa! Look at that. It was Leatherface, but you got the wrong person. Oh, man. Look at that. Poor guy got his freaking literally chopped off, or his top chopped off. Oh, she's a fighter, though. She used a fire extinguisher there, but oh, man. That was rough. I hope she could lock that door. How convenient that she had a metal door for, protection there, right? I guess that's why there's a metal door. Maybe they use it as a bomb shelter. Oh, look at that. He's got a metal plate in his head. Oof. That's gotta hurt. Oh, he was in Vietnam, yeah, see? So he just came back overseas from the war. His wig is gone. Oh man, that's even toasting. It's on fire. How's that possible? I guess when chainsaw touched the metal, it just burnt. Wow. Look at his face though. He's been picking at the edge of the skin on the plate. That's nasty. Oh man. He's peeling off the skin from that area to eat it. Oh, gross, man. Why does he have an addiction to eating the flesh on his skin? Well, he is a cannibal, right? But why would you eat your own flesh? It just seems odd and weird and just gross. I mean, cannibalism in general is frowned upon in society and just obviously something you don't do too, right? But yeah, gross. He's doing self-cannibalism. That's crazy. Well, she is technically locked in there. What's she gonna do? Like, she has nowhere to run, literally. Is he gonna be able to chop through that door? You think so, Wolfies? I don't know. I don't know if he's really gonna be able to. How powerful do you think a chainsaw is, Wolfies? I would assume not that powerful. Well, he's doing damage to the radio station. He's clearly very unhinged. Oh, wow. Apparently a chainsaw can break through a metal door. What is that, like an industrial strength chainsaw? They ran out of fuel, apparently. Well, I guess he's gonna have to, Why is she screaming they live on fear? That's not a very normal thing to repeat over and over again. She's clearly traumatized at this point. Where's Lefty? What has Lefty been doing this whole time? Oh, that's not Lefty, that's LJ. Or LG. He's coming back with coffees? Oh, well, clearly he's not very good at karaoke. He follows after the great category Jinro. Does he not notice the strange thing of the lights being on there? I mean, notice the car, too. Oh, he must think that that's Lefty's car, right? He just spat on the car. What I find hilarious is the fact that they're parked, their station is right above a gun store. And nobody thought maybe while you play this tape to pick up a gun, right? Just poor LG. He's walking into a trap right now at this point. Uh-oh. Wow. Well, are they going to square up, it looks like? Oh, well, Leatherface just took care of him. Well, 07 LG, we barely knew you. Oh, Chop Top's just knocking him out. Wow. He's hitting him with a mallet? Looks like the type of mallets that you use to knock out cows in butcher shops. No. Ripperonis, LJ, or LG. We barely knew you. I think LJ because LL Cool J, ironically. LG, that was this guy's name. Oh, look at that. Oh. Well, if he's not dead now, he's got to be dead. And if Leatherface wanted to, he could just chop him up right now. Uh-oh. Well, he got the chainsaw to work again. Well, she's screwed because she should have taken that time to kind of run away. What's she got in her hand? What is that? It looks like a rusty... I don't even know what that would... Just like a piece of rusted metal that's falling off. Well, she's literally got nowhere to run. You know, if I were her, I would probably try to throw some of those machinery items over that door to kind of block. Because he's not going to let her go away. Clearly not. Like, they don't want any witnesses, and they played the tape, so this is the consequences of her actions. And where's Lefty and all this? Shouldn't he have, like, come to help save the day? Clearly, he left her high and dry. Whoa! That was kind of smart. He broke through the wall. Well, if you can't get through the metal door, you go through another way. Uh-oh. What's going to happen to Stretch here? Oh. Well, he's still bleeding now. Uh-oh. She gonna get chopped up? Mm-mm. She's getting all, soaked from the ice. I guess that's supposed to be a refrigerator she's in. Poor her. What is she gonna do? Like, there's nowhere for her to really go. Why is he just toying with her? He could finish this in a heartbeat if he wanted to. What is he doing? Well, it's like he has a metaphor right now. What is he doing? You notice the gyrations that he's making right now? Huh. Uh-oh. Look at that face. I think he's smitten one by her. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's smitten by her. Uh-oh. What is that? What is he doing? Uh-oh. What is he looking at? Oh, he's licking his lips. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a metaphor for something else. Uh-oh. Yep, clearly metaphor for something else right now. I'm not going to draw the lines for you. You can figure this one out for yourselves, Wolfies, but clearly it's a very unsay-so metaphor here. This movie is rated R, though, so there will be technically some type of mature themes, right? But it's obvious that Chainsaw's metaphor for the male appendage, because she asks how good is he, and obviously where he has his chainsaw, particularly directed, it's self-explanatory at this point. This is a very odd scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre II. Like, but this is the first time Bubba's actually shown interest in women. So he's kind of growing up and maturing a little bit, I guess you could say. Uh-oh. She's trying to seduce him. I guess that's the best option to try to get out of this situation. Oh. And she's terrified. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, that's being pointed. She could easily be 07 right now, if that were the case. Uh-oh. He's going into the borderlines of inappropriate right now. Mm-mm. She's hoping that she can riz him enough. Oh boy. He's he's doing stuff. Uh-oh. You could kind of imply what's going on here. I'm not gonna commentate over it. Well, he's well, I think it's safe to say we know what happened to him right now. Leatherface might have just became a man, sort of. He's discovered women. But will he kill her? That's the question. No. He's tearing up the area. I wonder why. What could he possibly be doing with his... Oh. Well, she's screaming too. Oh! I get it. He's pretending that he killed her. And she's screaming to pretend that she was killed by him. Makes sense. It looks like he's going to spare her, but he has to make it look believable, because if not, his family would be very, very angry at him. But at the same point, I think she is generally terrified and also generally creeped out. But yeah, Bubba clearly has a thing for Stretch at this point. Well, I guess it's a story of Beauty and the Beast, but a much more deranged beast than what Disney Pictures ever planned. He lied. He spared her and lied to his family. Wow. She knew. Well, she didn't know too much. They had to kind of cover the tracks. What are they going to do with the cowboy? Uh-oh. Well, Leatherface don't know any better. These two are quite a pair, right? Well, they are brothers. He got this guy. What are they going to do with this by poor LJ or LG? Look at him. He's got a lot of tummy to him, so I guess they'll use him as meat. That's not great. What's he going to grab? Did nobody... You know, here's the thing about Leatherface and Chop Top. They never went and grabbed the tape to destroy it, which is what they kind of came to do besides science, these two. So the evidence is still out there, right, Wolfies? I'm surprised she's not paralyzed in fear. She doesn't want them to get away, but you got to call the cops. And they got her colleague. Call the cops. That's the easiest thing to do in this particular situation, Wolfies, right? Just call the cops. Well, Lefty apparently was enjoying a brewski of some sort, perhaps, Wolfies. How is she? You notice in the scene, like, she just took a bath with a whole bunch of ice being splashed at her. And her clothes are dry, so that's definitely a continuity issue with the film, I would say for certain. What could possibly happen next with this? She literally went after them. That's ballsy. I would not do that. That's quite brave on her part. She's tracking them down for the streets of Dallas, it looks like. Even though they never say it's truly Dallas, Texas. It's like some outskirts of Texas. Because, I mean, why would obviously Leatherface and his family operate in a very populated part of Texas? It would make sense, because every time you did something, there'd be a lot of police forces and eyes on you. All right. She literally tracked them all the way to... Oh, look! It's the Texas Battleland. Remember, we saw the sign at the beginning of the film that the nerd shot the sign? It was 7 miles away. So, I guess we found the lair of Leatherface and Co. Huh. I mean, you gotta give it to Stretch. She's brave. What does she hope to do? Like, she's just one person against two very psychotic killers, and on top of that, their dad. We're assuming that's their dad, because he called them boys when the phone conversation happened in the earlier portion of the film. I mean, wouldn't you have called the cops before you trailed them? Or used, like, a cell phone in the car? I guess she does. She's the only character in this film that apparently didn't have a cell phone in the car. Well, I guess you can't really pay for a cell phone this time period on that DJ money. Probably don't make a whole bunch, considering how run down the station looked. Looked like she was even living in that DJ, in that radio station, so... It's very interesting indeed, Wolfies. Who's chasing her now? What's she doing? Uh-oh. Who's chasing her now? You think it's the dad, or you think it's somebody else? That is the slowest running I've ever seen in a horror film, to be honest. She's like running like if she's power walking, really. She's not running very fast. I guess it's hard to in those boots, but... I mean, if she took out the boots, it'd be easier to run, right? She's wearing super slow-mo. Okay. Oh, she's trapped in a rock and a hard place right now. Who's that? Why does she keep running? Oh, you see the hat? It's Lefty. Uh-oh. You were late. He used her as bait, I think. Oh, that's messed up. He purposely used her. Grab her by the arm, man. Oh, boy. What'd you do? He used her as bait. That's messed up, man. That's really messed up. What is that? That looks like a bone. That's not going to hold up her weight. Bones are very brittle when they decompose. That's not going to make a whole bunch of sense to use it. You need it like a piece of wood or something. That's not going to end well, Wolfies. Definitely not going to. Oh, yep, she fell down into the trap basement thing. I wonder why they have a trap door like that. I guess to prevent people from falling them. Uh-oh. Well, she's still good. She's still good. She's just gotta hang in there a little bit, right? Yeah. Well, I think there's only one direction for her to go, downward. It's like a complete trap. This is a very, very unique base that they have going, that they have trapdoors and everything. Oh, what's that? Oh, man, she just broke through, like, the basement area. Is she even going to be alive? And what is he going to do? Does he have, like, a rope that he could use? He's going to have to go after her. That's messed up. He used her as bait, too. Like, you figured it would have been better to catch them at the radio station where you could have called for, like, reinforcements. What did he possibly need to track them down to this location for? If anything, you're going into enemy territory. It just seems like a very poor plan to execute. Lefty is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, that's for certain. Stranger that walks beside you. Huh. What is he? He's very unhinged. He's scared, I guess. He's praying that he can man up. He's afraid. Where's he going? He's just gonna run through there? How do you know that that's not gonna lead you to a trap? So he's just gonna go through there? He's basically going for the back door? That was such an over-the-top scene, it didn't even truly make any sense whatsoever. And why would they leave the back door open? It's like they're just wait for people to come in and use them as bait, so to speak. Interesting, Wolfies. Interesting. Well, this place hasn't been cleaned in a while. There are a whole bunch of cobwebs there. There's the thing there. Oh, the wall is bleeding? That's a unique effect, and it's bleeding through the mouth. Huh. Well, that place has to be abandoned, right? That amusement park thing? Because they wouldn't be living there with all that stuff. And the cobwebs kind of imply this is abandoned, but, ooh. It's bleeding straight down. What is it leading to? Oh, the floor. That's gross. What do you think's behind there? Clearly some type of flesh. What is left gonna do? Hell. Oh my god, he just kicked there. There's like a whole bunch of entrails coming. Oh, gross. Those aren't jelly beans? Clearly they're not. Yeah, it is truly the devil's playground. What is Lefty gonna be able to do, Wolfies? Bringing it down. If he starts chopping the lumbar bars that are holding this place up, he's gonna kill himself and everybody in there. He's become completely unhinged, Wolfies. This is a very, very bad idea, Wolfies. I don't think this is wise at all. I don't know. Just seems like if you wanted to help her, you wouldn't start chopping down the foundation so that it could completely cave in on itself and kill everybody. Like, if he wanted to die, that's fine, and take out, like, Leatherface's family, but, you know, for Stretch, she's just an innocent bystander that was used as bait. Well, at least Stretch is okay for the moment. She just seems to have fallen a little unconscious there. Oh. Listen to Sawyer. Drayden Sawyer is clearly there now. He's reprimanding his boys, it seems. You know what's really cool about this? The sound, actually, right now, because his yelling at the boys is coming through... Well, I'm using headphones, right? So it's coming through the left channel. And the conversation with the boys is coming through the right channel. And it's slowly moving now from the left channel, which is the left ear for me, moving slowly to the right. And then on top of that, when you hear on both sides, that's coming through the middle side. So that's a nice audio sound effect. And like where Leatherface is placed right now, when I'm listening to the headphones, where he's using the hand, like carving tool, you could hear from the right channel. You could still hear Sawyer talking mostly from faintly on the left going into the right. Really good audio design. That's something that you don't see in too many movies in this day and age, so kudos to that, because it's not very easy to do sound mixing like that and get it dead on where you get sound from different channels in your ears. Very, very good. And this movie was slightly remastered, not like Blu-ray truly. Well, they did Blu-ray remastered. The film looks a little bit washed out because it was done on cheaper film stock, but look at this. That's why in the background you can kind of hear a little bit of ambient noise when there's very silent. Because there's some things you can clear up, but there's some you can't. What is he doing? He's chopping somebody up right now, like carving off the skin. Ooh, gross. Ooh, again, not for the faint of heart, this movie. So if you're squeamish, this is not the movie to be watching with us tonight. I wanted to watch it though, it's a cult classic. And something different. Also a little bit mainstream. Oh. Well, that's lovely. Did he just chop off somebody's face, it looked like? And she's just terrified. They're hiding in the background. The lighting is pretty good too. Look at how they use the incandescent bulbs. They got like a light that's hidden behind the back area structure so that they can show like a tunnel light flashing, which I think is a nice effect. She's like an orangey thing because it's supposed to give out the effect of the incandescent bulbs. The way they do that is they have a light on the left-hand side of the screen where we can't see, flashing again with a gel that's like a reddish orange tint. It's again a piece of plastic that you put over film lights to give that color effect. They don't use it as much in today's modern cinema, but back in the day for older films, you saw a lot more of the gels being used, as well as some diffusers. So that's how they do that effect. Oh, she screwed up. She just kicked over the metal. Well, obviously he's going to know that you're there. Beauty and the Beast round 2. What's he going to do? Is he going to kill her? Oh, she's able to talk her out of it, or him out of it. Oh, yeah, she is. She's got a connection with him. Not the connection I think she would desire, but he's clearly enamored with her quite a lot. It's like, the thing about it with Leatherface, how can I put this where it would be politically correct, where I don't offend anybody? Leatherface is a person who has developmental delays, I guess is the best way to put it. So he has like a childlike mentality. So this is the first time he's really discovering a woman. So Leatherface is trying to hide the fact that she's there. He's not going to be able to hide that. Yeah, he already... Drayden already knew what he was hiding. I mean, he's his dad, right? Ew, eyeball pate. Yuck, gross. He was able to hide her for now, but for how long? How's he gonna... He can't... He's trying to help her? I don't know if he's gonna defect. He's got a question of conscience. He might not necessarily understand, too. Keep that in mind. Like, in a way, could you really... I hate to say this because people are going to be like, Katagiri, how dare you? In a way, could you really blame Leatherface for some of the stuff he does? Again, this is clearly a person who has some form of developmental delays. He's clearly childlike in terms of mentality. And he's been brought up by cannibals, so this is the only life he necessarily knows. But the one thing I do like about this film is he's kind of struggling with his conscience, because he knows what his family would normally do in this situation. And he knows what he would want to do what's right, in a way. He's kind of got a struggle of conscience here. And you're probably wondering, why the heck did he put the mask on her like that with the hat? In his mind, he thinks if he puts the mask on her like that with the hat, that perhaps that's going to be a way to disguise her, and then it's going to be the guy, like, dead and meat. Also, he's kind of, like, dressing her up so that he looks similar to him in a way. Somebody of his own. He's dancing with her because he's trying to make her feel comfortable, and You know, it's it's really not his fault in a way. I mean, he's doing horrible things, but like at the end of the day, it looks like he just wants somebody that he can relate to at the moment. Well, that moment is done. But notice again how he sits her down and he's trying to like kind of protect her in a way, but he's tying her up obviously because he doesn't want her to go anywhere. Kind of like what you would do with a pet in a way. So I guess to him, he kind of thinks of her as a pet, sort of, as well as somebody he has romantic interest in. But you notice he didn't kill her. He's locking the door. He's trying his best to protect her as best as he can with what, you know, with the situation's going. So you kind of feel for Leatherface in a way because he's kind of learning a sense of morality in the film, even though it's hard because he's got more, again, he's clearly a person who suffers from developmental delays. Clearly he's a person who was raised by cannibals, but he's starting to learn things. Maybe that's not necessarily the way. Oh God, LG's still alive? Well, I mean, she's wearing his face, so what could possibly... Oh my God, he got literally skinned. How is he even still alive? How? Like, with the amount of blood he would have lost from being cut in the face like that, he would have bleeded out by now. Did they cut his tongue too? No. Don't be scared. He's trying to reassure her. Oh my God. They cut his leg, right? Yeah, so he's standing on muscle right now. Oh man. That's rough. Look at that. His ribcage area looks like it's been chopped open too. Sliced open, perhaps. Hasn't he bled out yet? I'm surprised. Yeah, they did get him. I mean, technically it's her fault, right? Yeah. That's kind of gross. He still has the power to be able to help her? How? He picked up the butcher knife. Is he going to be able to do that? Because by now, all the cuts on him, skin layers, he should not be able to use his nervous system very well. He's still trying his best, though. Yeah, he's trying. Give it up to him. He, with as messed up as he is, he's using the last of his energy to save her. That's love. He really did love her, even though she didn't feel the same for him. But he confessed his love for her and then dies. I mean, that's admirable. That took all his strength possible to be able to help her. He knew he was going to die, and he pushed himself to the limit to make sure she would survive. That's true love for Wolfies. And she never really took his romances, gestures seriously. And now she's kind of coming to the realization that, hey, this was actually a pretty good dude that cared about me. And he's dead because of my actions. These are the consequences of her actions here, unfortunately. She wanted to dream bigger and become like a radio journalist and figured if she helped Lefty, that was going to be the way to get everything she needed to. And it backfired tremendously, Wolfies. These are what we call the consequences of one's actions. And now, her consolation prize is she has Bubba, good old Leatherface, who loves her, but clearly she just admitted she loved him. See? It took his death for her to realize that she cared about him. Which ironically does happen often in life. Sometimes we pass up something because we don't think it's a credible love, or we're not feeling that way. And it's always those people that were always there from like day one that we just never viewed them as romantically per se. That then they either pass away or they disappear or they move on with their lives. and then you're left with that regret, and you come to the realization that you really cared about them. Very, very human emotions conveyed right there in that scene. That's basically the symbolism there too. So, how is she going to escape from this one, you think, Wolfies? Because we're getting close to the climax of the film. We've got about 30 minutes left. Even though I think the credits are about 5 or 8 minutes, so a little less than that, 25 minutes. So it's just these three here, it looks like. Uh-oh. What are they doing? Well, Chop Top clearly is just dancing around. I guess some of the structure is being damaged thanks to Lefty, and that's why it's kind of caving in. What are they doing? They're cooking? Uh-oh. Well, clearly Drayden Sawyer is having a little bit of a mental breakdown. Oh, fun fact, you see the skeleton that is being held by Chop Top? That is actually the skeleton of the hitchhiker from the first film. Remember, the hitchhiker in the first film basically grabbed the ride with the main characters from the first film and then eventually was killed by them. This is basically a skeleton there. Because again, Chop Top's his twin brother that went to war at Vietnam. So then Chop Top obviously came back before the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre II. And now he's only solaced. The only way to be close to his brother, his twin brother, is to just hold the dead body there. It looks mummified. So apparently Lefty's plan is kind of working about destroying the structural integrity of this place. Do you think that she'll be able to hide and escape? She's wasting time. These guys are obsessed with the radio, it looks like. Well, Lefty, trying to go for the win here. She screamed. She gave up her location, and Leatherface tried his best to try to hide her. Even there, you see he's shaking his head. He knows that if she gets caught, that's it. Oh, well. She should jump and hide somewhere. If not, oh, well, Chop Top's having some little bit of PTSD, perhaps. He's getting visions of the war, perhaps. Fun fact about Chop Top, there was going to be a prequel / also sequel type of movie done with him. I forgot exactly the name, but they did actually film it. It was like a fan film that some of it got made. And then, for whatever reason, the funding didn't go through and the film kind of got vaulted. I think it was like American Chainsaw Massacre, I think it was supposed to be called, or American something. It was supposed to be like an interrogation of Chop Top after he had been arrested after the stuff that happens in this film. And he kind of gives a prequel as to how he kind of survived the war, and then later on, I guess he's supposed to escape his entrapment. It never came to be, unfortunately. I think they filmed the movie, or at least they filmed the trailer. If you look hard enough on YouTube, you can find the trailer to it. I would have been kind of interested in seeing more of Chop Top's character, because I think he's a pretty interesting horror character that they could have done a lot more with. This is like his only appearance in any of the films. He's still chopping down things. Uh-oh, what did he discover? Okay, so for context for people who might not know this, the dead body with the wheelchair there, that is a character from the original movie who was in the wheelchair that got killed. This guy is actually Lefty's brother, and that's why Lefty's been doing everything that he's been doing in this film, because he was hoping to track down his brother and find him okay, but obviously he's come to the harsh reality that his brother is never coming back. So he's going to probably become mentally unhinged by that, because nobody wants to see their siblings die, right? or find out that they died, would be very hard to take in. I will give Hopkins credit here. He actually managed to get his eyes watery for the scene. I wonder how many takes that would have taken. Like, he's legitimately almost in tears. But he's going to go unhinged. Super unhinged mode activated. What is he going to do, Wolfies? Oh, so he's really just going to take everybody down. He doesn't care what happens at this point, whether to him or to poor Stretch. Who, for the most part, has been doing a pretty decent job of evading. But you would figure her luck's about to run out at this point, right? What's going to happen here, Wolfies? She got nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Uh-oh. Lefty, what are you doing? You're gonna screw her up. She's trying to escape, and he's breaking down areas that she could possibly... Well, he's breaking areas that she could possibly escape from, is what I'm getting at. Now she's gonna have to run back into the enemies. Like, what do you do here? The place is caving in, and you don't have anywhere really to go. Those bodies that you see there, that are flashing before you, are the victims of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. And there's a couple more that are probably just thrown in there for good measure. What's she gonna do? Like, she has no idea what direction to even run in, right? Oh, there's Leatherface. Is he angry that she escaped? It looks like it. He's not too happy with her right now. Well, I guess that relationship, or the honeymoon as one might say, is over between these two, perhaps? What's she gonna do? She can't try to riz him now, because he seems very angry that she escaped. Like, he's chasing her with the chainsaw. Full throttle. Uh-oh. Who's there? Oh, Lefty. Why is he chopping beams down? Is he gonna try to save her? Oh, he's just gonna make matters worse, because that's her only way of escaping, and he screwed her over big time. Lefty has done more harm than he has good in this film, particularly to Stretch. I can't help but feel like he did that on purpose, even, based on his actions throughout the film. Oh. Okay, so they're gonna talk it over? I mean, she's trying to tell him it's not gonna work out. He's upset. Well, I mean, your only way out would probably be to riz Leatherface. He can't. See, now he knows that he can't let her go. Because if he lets her go... Oh. Look at Leatherface's eyes. He knows he's in trouble now. Uh-oh. Now they finally discover her. This is going to go sour for her. Who's that? So he thinks that she ruined the base. So he's not going to be happy over that. Thousands of dollars. He probably didn't pay for that place. The DJ, see, he gave away his position. Uh-oh. Leatherface is in trouble now. How could you kill her twice? Red face. Huh. Now they figured out Bubba has a thing for her. Chop Top's making fun of him. Well, I mean, that's typical sibling rivalry. Well, look at Bubba's face, though. Look at that Leatherface's face. He's looking like, yeah, he's not wrong. He's like, yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Well, of course he's going to find out about it. He's maturing eventually, right? Uh-oh. What's he going to tell him? Why? Oh, swindle. He's trying to tell him, don't fall for women? He's still tempted to help her, though, right? He likes her. Uh-oh. He leave him alone. See, he doesn't want her or her to turn him. Uh-oh. He's getting a dark order. He's gonna have to kill her. Is he gonna do it? Uh-oh. You think he's gonna actually do the deed now, Wolfies? You think he's gonna kill her? You think this is the last we've seen of Stretch? Because Lefty's clearly not going to be able to save her based on the incompetence that he's shown in this entire film. Oh, Bubba refused to kill her. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. This is a phrase that a lot of people use. The Saw's family, it comes from this. A lot of people use it when they're playing Dead by Daylight. I do play some Dead by Daylight. I have said in the post-game chat, the Saw's family, when I do play as Leatherface, is a direct reference to here in this movie. One thing I've always been disappointed with is that I always hoped in Dead by Daylight that they would have the Texas Chainsaw 2 Massacre outfit for Leatherface. They never did, obviously, because of licensing issues. She just got knocked out with the hammer that he used earlier in the film for LG. Hey, I got it right this time. I didn't call him LJ. I mean, LG and LJ are very, very similar in letters. Just the way it sounds. Oh, wow. She's tied up. Looked like she's been invited to dinner. Fun fact, Drayden Sawyer is featured in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, as well as a character you'll see in a couple seconds. So, at least they were willing to give her, invite her to dinner there. They're trying to accept her as family, apparently. Huh. Oh, so he's not their father. He just confirmed that he's their brother, older brother by a lot. Huh. So, if he's the older brother, what happened to the father? That's what I'd like to know. Was the father the guy that was in the wheelchair from the first film? Yeah. They're willing to accept her into this twisted family. I mean, at this point, you have to play your cards right? This is your only chance at escaping at the moment. Uh-oh. So we have Grandpa, but what happened to Papa? Uh-oh. Okay, so fun fact, like I was saying before, Grandpa, this character here, is featured in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game as well. Usually, he will wake up and be alerted to your presence. He's a game mechanic in it. Again, I don't own Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Again, not a fan of some of the stuff the developers have done in terms of not so much the game, but kind of the way they carried themselves on social media. So that's why I don't personally play it. On top of that, the game's kind of deadish, which I was kind of expected was going to happen with a game of that nature. ASIMs never can really do too much. So they're giving backstory to Grandpa. Apparently, Grandpa is the first cannibal and taught them how to just do all the things that they do now. It's crazy. What's the shame? Oh, because I guess because butchers. Oh, so they were old school butchers. Oh, okay. So apparently, Grandpa worked at a butcher place, and then after the butcher place replaced him with all the high tech technology they use for butcher stuff, I guess he decided to eat people as revenge. Yeah. So what happened? So you didn't go to the factory? What happened? You went crazy after that? Yeah. So I guess it's implied that Grandpa after that just decided to not go in and teach them how to become cannibals. Interesting. And Drayden Sawyer, the guy who plays him, I forget his name as an actor. He reprises not this character's role, but he plays kind of like the dad in a way for Texas Chainsaw remake, and also in Beginnings, which is like the prequel to the remake. Do you think they're gonna try to feed her blood? Uh-oh. He's trying to calm her and reassure her that everything's gonna be okay, but I don't think Drayden's gonna go for this. Give Caroline Williams props. Like, she did a really good job in the acting of looking here completely unhinged, completely paranoid, having a panic attack. Caroline Williams has a very good range in terms of acting, just with not only screaming, but being able to act serious. Like, this is really one of those roles that kind of cemented her as a horror queen legend in the business. It's a shame that she didn't get as many prominent roles as she probably should have. Oh, he kissed her. Oh man, that's not going to set well with Drayden at all. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's trying to get her. You know, if he brings her down, that's not going to be good for her, because she's going to be in a heap of trouble, perhaps, because Drayden's really not going to want her to corrupt Bubba anymore. Uh-oh. What's Grandpa going to do? Grandpa looks pretty senile. Uh-oh. What are they going to do? Oh, they're going to actually sacrifice her here, it looks like. Oh, so Bubba's going along with it? He didn't want to, but it looks like he's sided with his family at this point. How old do you think Grandpa is in this film? He looks very, very decrepit and old. He's got to be what? Maybe not late 90s, early 100s? He's definitely frail. Oh. Clearly his mental state is not all up there. He has dementia, it looks like. Does he even have the strength to use the hammer here at this point? Probably not. The special effects for Grandpa are pretty cool. Very good makeup effects there. Also, Chop Top's not bad with the chrome dome. Yeah, he's trying to hit her in the head, but clearly doesn't have the physical strength anymore. She knows that if it connects with that mallet, it's going to be it for her. But he can't do it. He can't. He's too frail and old. Too far gone. He's amused, clearly, but he can't. He doesn't have the strength. Whoa, look at those eyes. That camera shot there, that's just creepy. Really good cinematography for that. Oh, look at that. He's even licking the blood from Chop Top's, like, head, basically, because he's using that to scratch his scalp. Grandpa's getting excited. If he's not careful, he'll have a heart attack. Oh, he actually hit her. But it wasn't enough to, like, obviously knock her out. He's getting happy here. He might hit at some point. His eyes are rolling. He might get a hit in here at this point. Uh-oh. Is he going to hit her, finally? Looks like he's mustering up some strength. Oh, he got her! He got so excited he was able to hit her pretty hard. But I think that's the most he can muster at this point. Oh, knocked her out. So they just wanted that to feed Grandpa? Is she going to be able to stay alive, though? Yeah, oh, look at that. Looks like Lefty finally showed up. I would like to say in the nick of time, but everything that he's done in this film has been a detriment to Stretch. So let's hope that doesn't mean that this is going to be another detriment to her survival at this point, Wolfies. Why is he singing that? Well, again, Chop Top's clearly unstable because of the war. On top of that, clearly in this family, who would be stable? I think the most stable one is Grandpa, and even Grandpa's got dementia, excuse me. Maybe the most stable one technically at this point would be Leatherface, and that's a stretch. No pun intended. Oh, he's singing the song that Chop Top was singing. Oh, our hero, maybe, perhaps, finally showed up. Well, look what the cat dragged in. Alright. We're gonna get the big standoff here. Well, what's gonna happen now? It's the great face-off between these two. Yeah, they never really should have, but... Who? What caterer? He's talking about different, I guess, eateries in the Texas area. So they're gonna face off. Interesting. Look at that shot with the camera angle. Like, he looks completely unhinged. He's gonna try to pay him off? He doesn't even want to fight him? He just wants to pay him off? You know, if you accept the money, they're just gonna kill you anyway. Lord of the Harvest, it's weird. Yeah, I would be confused too. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Lefty's clear. I think the more of the story is the only person who's sane in this film probably is Stretch herself. Oh, she's still alive. How much longer? Oh, she's gone for a lot. Yeah, she needs help. Well, I think we're getting to the climax of the film here. Oh, he just went for his unmentionables. They gave Grandpa the hammer. That's not going to really do much here. Well, he freed Stretch. Stretch better run. This is our only chance for survival at this point. Uh-oh. We're going to have a chainsaw duel here, it looks like. Looks like Chop Top's going to go after a Stretch. Do you think he's going to be able to beat Leatherface? Uh-oh. Well, he's got a nerd chainsaw. Is he going to be able to dual wield, though? Interesting. They're going full on Star Wars here, Wolfies. Do you think we'll, finally be able to subdue? Do you think he's finally going to be able to subdue Leatherface? I'd like to think that's going to be the case, but you never can be too sure here, Wolfies. Because just when you think you have all the answers with this film, something else happens. Well, Chop Top somehow managed to catch up with her. You think he was crawling through, like, the ceiling area? Did he pull, like, an alien? Oh, she's fighting back, though. She just went from a very scared, terrified woman to a strong woman character through the progression of the film. You like to see when stuff like that happens, Wolfies. What do you think's going to happen? You think Dennis Hopper's character, Lefty's going to be able to subdue Leatherface? Leatherface clearly seems to have the upper hand right now at the moment. Well, I mean, Leatherface was practically born with a chainsaw in his hand, so he's going to have clearly more experience. Look at Grandpa. Grandpa looks a little bit terrified here. Uh-oh. What's Drayden doing? Hiding under the table. Do you think Drayden's got a plan P? Uh-oh. Well, he did get cut in the unmentionables. He was probably bleeding to death. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, maybe Drayden's dying at this point. I think it's safe to imply. Chop Top giving chase to Stretch. I mean, where can Stretch possibly go? She's got to, like, just keep, I guess, going as high elevation as possible. Like with all the sayings that go, you know, high ground. Whoever has the high ground usually is the one that can be the victor here. Perhaps. All right. Well, I mean, Lefty's hanging in there, doing his best. I mean, oh, he got Leatherface in the stomach. He actually impaled him with the chainsaw. Is that the end of Leatherface, Wolfies? Because he went straight into Leatherface there. That's got to be death, right? Uh-oh. And Drayden apparently admits that he's dying here because he's bleeding apparently too much. What's he looking for? Oh, Leatherface is dead at this point, right? Who would have figured that someone actually would have killed Leatherface in a movie? Unheard of, right? Look at Grandpa. Grandpa's actually up. Well, that's the end of Leatherface, clearly. He can't survive something like that. He's still trying to get up, though. That's crazy, right? Like, he should be dead for all intents and purposes at this point, and yet he's still fighting on. And Grandpa actually is standing up with the mallet. That's interesting. How was he able to muster strength of that nature? What is he looking for? Well, he found a grenade. Uh-oh. Is he gonna... He's gonna kamikaze here, it looks like. Uh-oh. Wow. He's willing to kill himself and everybody else in the process. Doesn't he have to just drop the grenade and that's it? The minute he drops it, it's over. Chop Top looks like he's the only one that's going to be able to escape because he's at a higher elevation. He finally caught up to Stretch. You think Stretch is going to be able to subdue him at this point? She doesn't have a weapon of any sort. How's she going to be able to do anything? Maybe if she grabs him by the chrome dome area, she might be able to do something. Oh, she kicked him in the balls, I think, or the stomach. Lower abdomen, it looks like, perhaps. Smart. She grabbed the lamp, electrocuted his metal plate. That should subdue him. I don't know if it's enough to kill him now. Smart. She's a survivor. She went from weak, feeble, paranoid character to a smart woman. She found the exit. Isn't it funny that they're parodying what happened earlier in the film with the exit sign? Uh-oh. He just hit Leatherface in the head. Grandpa, well... Oh! Well, he dropped a grenade. That's it. Leatherface is clearly dead at this point. Everybody down there, yeah, they're dead. They just got exploded with the grenade. And she finally made it to the top, but she's got to still subdue Chop Top because Chop Top seems to be the only one left in the family. So, interesting. What's going to happen here? Oh, he's got a knife. Where did he get that from? He had that the whole time. She's still fighting him, biting. Come on, Stretch. You gotta... Your survivor instinct gotta kick in here. It's our fight or flight response, because if not, this is gonna go sour real quickly. She's still fighting. She's a fighter. Ooh. That's not a bad camera angle, although framing is a little bit off because they're just running up the middle. But interesting. I wonder if they built a set here. It looks like this is all set right now. Uh-oh, she got caught in the ankle or calf area, so she's gonna have a harder time walking. Huh. Where is she gonna be able to run to? She needs a weapon. She almost kicked him off. That's an editing error. You saw how the music suddenly shifted as well as the scene. Wasn't edited very well there. What's gonna happen here, Wolfie? Oh, she found somebody. Who is that? Could that be Grandma? She's got a chainsaw though in her hand. Huh. Who's that? Oh, he has the switchblade thing attached to his wrist. That's kind of smart. I guess he wasn't going to drop it then. Well, remember, Chop Top was in Vietnam, so he has the instincts of a soldier still, Wolfies. So... Do you think he's going to be able to do something? What's she going to do? She's a dead end. She better hope that chainsaw works. If I were her, I'd go grab it. Because if not, this is going to be a GG, Wolfies. Huh. He's not very happy. What is he doing? He's cutting his neck himself. Wouldn't that kill him? I mean, I guess if it's not deep enough, it's just a flesh wound, but still. Is he... Wow. He is completely unhinged at this point. Well, I guess he's having flashbacks to the war, so... He wasn't very mentally stable to begin with. Now he's completely unhinged. Oh, she fat? Yeah, that's the right idea. Uh-oh. Yeah, pull it. Pull it. That's your only choice. That was Grandma. Okay, I thought so. Oh, he's mentally unhinged. Oh, no. He's upset. This is your opportunity, Stretch. If you're going to do something to him, you better do it quickly, because if not, this is going to be a GG for you. He's not happy, clearly. Uh-oh. What's going on? Uh-oh. Not good. She's getting cut up in the back. I'm surprised he's not trying to go for vital organs, though. Because I guess he wants to inflict torture on her. But that's not smart because she's revving up the chainsaw. If that chainsaw works, you're done, Chopped Up. Well, she got it. Well, you're done. Yep. Oh, she was smart. But she's not going directly into him. She's just cutting him from the sides. Oh, you fell. Oh. He's fell back into the drain pipe thing now. Oh, look at her. She's doing the chainsaw dance from the end of the first film right now, Wolfie. So that's a clear throwback. But apparently at this point, she's become completely unhinged, traumatized by the events of what occurred to her in the film. She would have actually made a good bride for Leatherface at this point. All right, Wolfies. That was Texas Chainsaw Massacre II. That was originally meant to be the final movie in the franchise. That was Tobe Hooper's way of closing out the franchise. That's why, for all intents and purposes, they kill Leatherface in the film. They also kill his older brother. They kill Grandpa. Chop Top, it looks like he died in the film. Like I said, there's another film that was supposed to be made with him. Let's see. I'm going to actually Google this right now. I have a second so I can give you some insight to it. Chop Top Texas TCM film. So there was a film. What was it going to be called? It wasn't going to be called Chop Top, that's for sure. Let me see. What was the Chop Top scrapped film called? Created by, I have to go into Wiki here just to be able to answer the question for you guys, Wolfies. I know it's not the best source, but there was a spin-off movie that was supposed to happen. Do they talk about it here? Let's see. It doesn't seem to be listed here. They have it in feature in Search of Darkness, but that's not where I was referenced. Oh, there it is. I was right. All American Massacre. So All American Massacre was supposed to be a sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre II, indirect sequel. Basically, in that movie, it was featured Chop Top, who survived the fall that we just saw in this film. He was found 3 years later, arrested, found in the same place in a mental institution, where he had remained for 10 years, taking place 13 years after the second film. The film was going to have him being interviewed from prison cell by a tabloid television journalist and narrated by Chop Top. All American Massacre was to reveal via flashbacks the origin of the Sawyer's family's cannibalism, and what their real names are. The only thing that was made for this, to my recollection, because I did see it, was a trailer for the film, which also kind of gave flashbacks to him in Vietnam. So the second film was supposed to take place, but unfortunately the film, to my knowledge, was unreleased. Apparently it was filmed, it could never get funding for whatever reason. But that's why, in a way, it was kind of left open-ended, I guess, in a way, why Chop Top, whether he was dead or not, and that kind of was the reason for it. That movie wasn't made by Tobe Hooper, so some people who just basically read between the lines. Tobe Hooper passed away. Yes, there are Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. There is one called Texas Chainsaw Massacre II, A New Beginning, or what was it, A New Generation. That, Wolfie, is not canon to this film. It's not a direct sequel. They just call it that because they wanted something to be associated with it, so they would fool people to go into the movie theater. What in reality, what it is a recon of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in a way. So it's basically a sequel that's another direct sequel to the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it ignores the events of part 2, which was meant to, obviously, as we just saw, conclude the franchise. That one had Viggo Mortensen in it, if I remember correctly, and it was met with a lot of criticism. Then, after that, they made the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and then they made the prequel, which obviously is its own universe, and they never continued that. Then, after the prequel and the remake, they made something called Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. That movie was, again, another sequel that ignored the events of, obviously, part 3 as well as part 2, and was a direct sequel, again, to the first film. Then they made Leatherface, which was supposed to be a prequel to everything. It was a terrible movie, and probably one of the worst installments for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After that, the most recent film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Netflix, believe it or not, because they all just seem, is not a remake, but is, again, you guessed it, direct sequel to the first film, ignoring the events of everything else. And it is probably one of the more faithful sequels in the sense that it really tries to capture the essence of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. And in a way, they kind of borrow some elements of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in terms of some of the goriness and the lighting, but not necessarily like the costumes are really playing up on the developmental delays of Leatherface Wolfies. So, did you enjoy that movie? I really did enjoy that as well. Wolfies, I'm a little pressed for time. Usually I would talk about stuff that's coming up next week, but we do have tomorrow, Saturday, our Monster Hunter World Iceborne playthrough. That'll be at 9 o'clock Eastern, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Then on Sunday, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at 9 o'clock Eastern as well. I do have to use the little Wolfies room, so I'm going to be cutting this a little bit short. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for another one of our fun movie watch-alongs. I had a lot of fun watching the movie, reacting to the movie, giving you some nice tidbits and a little bit of, film commentary, because I do have a degree in film for people who don't know this, so I have a little bit more background as to how films are made, and that's why I was able to talk about the lighting, particularly, some of the themes, some of the symbolism, talk about gels and how they created that orange lighting effect. But as the saying goes, it is time for us to leave the movie theater because we can't afford another movie ticket. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, Wolfies, and I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern sharp.